Your favorite blur on the YouTube platform, and today I'm back with a new video. Today's new video is actually going to be a story time on pretty much why I left my Twitter crush alone and pretty much the lesson I learned. So this story takes place back in the fall of 2023, and we're going to call this person Lady East Coast. So Lady East Coast and me have been probably Twitter friends for about maybe 5 or 6 years. And pretty much we were cool, you know what I'm saying? I would reply to her posts on Twitter to some degree, not all of them, but some of them. And she would reply to my posts on Twitter, of course. And during the time, pretty much what started it off a little bit more was because of something that happened. I had a podcast. I'm not going to say much about it. It already ended where I had a co-host. And I was thinking about continue going forward with doing another podcast, not the same podcast, and someone filling the void for that person, because that was not going to happen, right? I was looking for a new co-host for another podcast idea and also to promote my YouTube channel. So I literally reach out to Lady East Coast in the inbox on Twitter and say, hey, look, the first thing I asked, and this was just first because look, a brother got to get his YouTube channel out there. And she's like, yeah, I do YouTube too. I'm like, really? You do YouTube? And I love the enthusiasm about it, that she was excited about, that she does YouTube too. And she did like dope stuff like filming, documentaries, which I thought was really cool angle, execution wise for a YouTuber, because I see them. I don't see a lot of those type of channels. And she's like, yeah, just send me your link and stuff like that. And I sent the link, she sent me her link. I subscribed to her channel, commented on her stuff, and everything. She subscribed my channel and everything. We talked about pretty much our aspirations. I said, look, I'm trying to do YouTube like full time. Like I really enjoy YouTube. This is something that filled the void for me. Now, pretty much at that time, it was just for YouTube. A couple weeks later, I did ask Lady East Coast. I said, look, Lady East Coast, I got an opportunity, right? And the opportunity pretty much was about the podcast. I was thinking about doing another podcast, even though the last one didn't completely work out, all right? And Lady East Coast hits me with pretty much, I'm still in school right now. School is my focus, my priority. I understood. I was like, okay, cool. I get it. I'm not trying to, and I told her, pretty much, I'm not trying to do this podcast daily. I was thinking once a month, twice a month for a podcast. I'll let it be known. So it wouldn't be like, hey, it's going to be an everyday thing. This is what we expecting type of thing. And she still seemed like she was uncertain about it. And I said, okay, cool. Right? I said, cool. I'm going to let it be. And stuff like that. So then let's talk about the year after. So 2024 comes around and I'm starting to be like, I really like this person. I like her mindset when it came to certain things, just her ambition. I love a girl that's ambitious. I'm sorry, look, ladies, if you're ambitious, you might be one of the people I might try to pursue, right? I like an ambitious person because I'm an ambitious person. And, she was ambitious. She was, outgoing. Like I said, pretty artsy when it comes to filmography and all that stuff. And I decided to say, you know what? I'm shooting my shot. And also, she had other interests. She was into anime, Marvel, DC, even film like I was. So I was like, wow, this is really happening? Me? So I sent the inbox, you know what I'm saying? I was a little nervous. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was a little nervous. I'm like, yo, this is going to either break up the dope little friendship we got on Twitter, or this gonna be something where like, yo, I'm there. So, what I'm saying? I send the risky Twitter inbox with the phone number in there. I'm like, look, I would like to get to know you a little bit more. And she's like, yeah, sure, let's get to know each other. I'm like, Lady East Coast? Like, really? And everything. So I end up getting the inbox back, her sending the number and everything. We test from the time being in 2024, and we still had a mutual respect for one another. She was reposting my content, I was reposting her content. We talked about film, anime, that type of thing. And then suddenly things start to change. Let's talk about 2025 because that's when things start to change in a way where I'm like, what's going on? So I hadn't heard from her in a while and stuff like that. So 2025 came. I'll never forget. It was like somewhere towards the springtime. She finally calls me. You know, like I said, we had been testing prior to that and everything. She finally calls me after like a certain amount of months because I wondered like exactly what was going on. And she comes and tells me on the phone, pretty much through a text and everything, that she had eventually moved from the East Coast, the part of the East Coast she was once living in. She was still on the East Coast, but not in the same state she was, right? And then on top of that, she calls me. Like I'm literally playing Monster Hunters on my Xbox and stuff. And I finally get a chance to have a phone conversation with her. Besides the voice notes, because we did do voice notes on Twitter, of course, where we were interacting with one another type of thing. But it was cool. You know what I'm saying? You know, the vibe was kind of cool. You know, she's like, what you doing? I said, oh, I'm playing Monster Hunters right now, you know, and just chilling, you know, like it's Sunday, you know what I'm saying? Sunday is a day of relaxation for some folks, right? I can't speak for everybody. And, you know, she brings up something that I'm like, didn't we already talk about this before? Now, let me just explain this, right? So let me backtrack. I talked to her about doing a podcast and wanting her to be a co-host for a podcast that I was gonna do, but she wasn't really for certain about it. Now she talks about this podcast again, Lady East Coast, and I was not feeling it, y'all. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm gonna keep it a buck and a bean with y'all. She's like, yeah, I told my friend that she used to do podcasts and stuff like that, and like she just automatically assumed like she added her friend to the equation. And I'm like, I've never chatted with your friend. So I'm like, how are we doing a podcast now, all of a sudden, that you want to add a friend? And when I asked you, when it's just me and you to do a podcast, you want to include a third wheel to the podcast. I'm like, I ain't never spoke to that person. I never engaged with that person at all. And I was just like, what? Now, the other red flag that I noticed too is like when I wanted to talk to her, it was like it was always some weird excuses. Like, I'm not going to blow you up, girl. I want to see you win. I want to see you do your thing. That's how I am. If I'm with you, you know what I'm saying? And I got a crush on you and you know what I'm saying? And everything, I'm going to want to see the best in you. I'm just saying, right? So I'm like, now all of a sudden you bringing back up a podcast that I asked you about and you wasn't even certain about it, right? The other thing that was a turn off for me was just her love bombing me with text messages. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't mind people text messaging me. I'm not against text messages, all right? But she was love bombing me in text messages and da-da-da-da. And then like when I would ask certain questions, I felt like it was just getting nowhere. So let me just get back into this story. So that was the first thing, the whole podcast, her adding another person and stuff like that. But the final red flag was pretty much her sex life. All right. Like I get it. You know, you being braggadocious about it just was not impressive to me. You know, I really wasn't like, ooh, I'm impressed type of thing. But I officially ended it because I felt like personally things weren't going anywhere to some degree. You know, after a while, after the last phone conversation that we had, things were awkward. It was an awkward silence. When the storming came, I didn't even call back because I'm like, yeah, a lot of this is kind of feeling like you're love bombing me. You're forcing your friend on me to be in a podcast with. I don't hear from you often enough. I didn't even know you moved to another state until the year after. I'm like, I'm supposed to be that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we trying to talk to each other and actually be mutual where we get a chance to meet each other. I should know that you moved to a whole nother state. It shouldn't have took you another year, right? I finally ended it. You know what I'm saying? I went on Twitter and I'm like, let me just go on and eventually let her go. You know what I'm saying? So what I did was I let her go. I unblocked her on social media. And now let me just tell you this, guys. The craziest thing happened to me. She already had other options. You know what I'm saying? I've seen some of the stuff on Twitter through my timeline. I'm like, whoa, 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 pause. You had options. You know what I'm saying? And what got me was the picture. All right. The caption of the picture was the dead giveaway. I finally got my man. He over at my house and da da da. And I'm like, what? You out here wanting to be a player? Don't want to be a player no more. No, you was being a player. You was playing that card. You not that type of type. But East Coast, I'm glad I let her go. You know what I'm saying? Lesson learned was when it comes down to it, people make time for who they really want to make time for. That's the biggest lesson I got from that. I was like, yo, she was making it seem like she was impossible to deal with type of thing. And I'm like, I'm not liking that. So I'm so glad I blocked her on Twitter and even IG, because IG suggested it. I'm like, I'm not following that crazy but East Coast lady, you know what I'm saying? But it is the hardest working blogger on YouTube, guys. You tell me in the comments, have you ever been tricked by someone that you had an online crush by? It is the hardest working blogger on YouTube, guys. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you enjoyed the content, feel free to go check out the other content. Also, if you like the videos, liking also gets me out in the YouTube algorithm. Right along with commenting. And if you want to share, go on and share the video, guys. But it is the hardest working blogger on YouTube, guys. And I will be back.